As we promised, part 2 of the Real Ale Guide. I'm with Bill, head brewer of Brewery in Cardiff, St David's Day special edition. I've got some questions for Bill. First question is, when did you first become interested in beer and importantly, brewing it?
I think my interest in beer started before my interest in brewing it, to be honest. Like any good student, my real sort of induction in beer was in my university days. I actually spent a year of my university days here in Cardiff.
Fantastic.
I went to university in Bath, but I did a year working for ICI down in Barry.
Right, yeah.
And I lived in Cardiff for a year. I was in early 90s, shall we say, not giving away too much. And I was drinking pints of SA then and feeling the after effects of drinking too many, and used to sit in the Philharmonic down St Mary's Street and look across at the brewery.
Yeah.
And I was a consumer of beer then. I was studying to be a chemical engineer. Never for one moment thought that my future lay in brewing, to be honest. So,
Fantastic.
My love of beer started way before, I ever thought of brewing as a career.
It's funny because, I'm just waving off these questions for a moment, there's a lot of head brewers who've got a background in the chemical. They've either done an apprenticeship in chemicals, or they've gone on to become head brewers of brewers. I've known a couple. Yeah,
it's at the end of the day, the brewing process is a natural biochemical process, and
that's right.
The degree I studied was equally as much about natural processes as it was about, more engineered chemical processes.
I see.
So, I equally as fitting to have a career as a brewer, having a chemical engineering degree, as it would be to be working in the oil industry. I know which one I'd choose any day. And when I compare notes with some of my old classmates, and they were all jealous of the job that I got in the end. So
I bet they.
I think I came out the right side.
Okay, the second question is, so what's it like being the head brewer of Brains and the largest brewer in Wales?
I feel very lucky in terms of the job I've got. The title is one that I am immensely proud of course. Even though, I'm an Englishman living in Cardiff, as head brewer of Wales' biggest brewer.
Same as my wife, behind the camera there.
I get tremendous pride in that. I get tremendous pride from, as all my team do in working for this company, producing beer that people drink day in, day out, and they love, Yeah. I once, someone in a pub in town, it must have been after a rugby game, or it was after a few beers, they go, you've got the best job in Wales. Well, at times I couldn't argue with that. I've got a very, I'm privileged to have the job I've got. I work hard at it, I care passionately about it.
Yeah.
And as do all of my team, everyone who works in the brewery is immensely proud to work for Brains and produce the beers that we do. They love them, and it counts a lot when you care and can be that passionate about what you produce.
Yeah, yeah. How did you get to where you are today? Did you have an apprenticeship here and work your way to the ladder, or did you come from another brewery where you learned your trade? But I think you've already answered that.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I've never had any aspirations to become a brewer. I didn't do a brewing degree. I did a chemical engineering degree. And when I was applying for jobs, I applied across a range of different companies in different fields, and one of those was for a brewery. It was in Burton-on-Trent, and I ended up with 2 job offers. One was working for Cadbury's chocolate factory in Birmingham.
Yeah.
The other was working for a brewery in Burton-on-Trent, and there was no contest in my book. The brewer won, and it was one of probably the most, if I look at things in my life, that was a great turn of events for me. I really, I found my vocation in life, as I felt. I was lucky enough to work for the big brewers in Burton-on-Trent. I have a fantastic grounding on beer production, and that's all types of beer production, lots of cask beer production, lots of other styles of beer production. and really had a 13-year learning process to get to the point where I was in a position to apply for the job of head brewer Brains, and was given that opportunity. 4 years later, then I'm still really like the proverbial, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop.
I would be as well. Totally. Real ale and craft beers are making a great comeback in the UK and around the world. That must fill you with joy. Why do you think this is, and what factors are driving the resurgence?
I think there's a number of things behind that. The first thing I would say is quality is almost the first thing that any product in this day and age has to deliver excellent quality. There is no place, that be beer, wherever, but there is no place for inferior quality as far as beer. There is so much choice out there. If you haven't got good quality, you're not even in the room. I think the second thing is people are more and more adventurous in what their palates and what they want to try, and I think people are more now associated with trying things differently than perhaps sticking to the same product all the time. And people's tastes change and differ. I think I'm particularly pleased about cask beer, because I think cask beer is unique to the Isles. It is something that we should be proud of across the whole world. Lots of other people look at us and think, we wish we had that, and sometimes we underestimate what we have. We have a fantastic product that is unique
to this country,
and it is got such diversity. I mean, I've taken you through a range of beers today, and you've got a massive range of diversity there, and it offers everything that you really could want. And what a great social bringing together tool it is at the end of the day as well.
You wouldn't want anything else, would you? I mean, we're going to come back in a few weeks' time, hopefully, and do a brewery tour with Bill. He's going to show us around the brewery on the channel. But for now, I think that's the end of part 2 for the brewery. If you come back for part 3, I've just got a few more questions to ask Bill. So check in a day or two, and cheers.